everyone was seeing their grandma on there, at least as much as they saw their friends. And that was a few years ago. And what Wall Street thinks is cool is basically average revenue per user, revenue growth, and profit margin. So I don't think that's really where Facebook's vulnerable. I think where they're vulnerable is there's a bit of an opening to vulnerable on being not the hip, new, cool thing. But with 1.3 billion users, there's not that many new people who are going to come on board who haven't seen it before, so it's not all that cutting edge. On the other hand, where the vulnerability is, they did make a lot of acquisitions. They aren't necessarily accretive for any time in the near future. That freaks people out sometimes when you have multiples and expectations this high, one. And two, look, some of these acquisitions look like they might not age super, super well in terms of any kind of accretive contribution to profit. And then last but not least, I think people still love the stock. It's doing really well. It's just a question of maybe time to stop and take a breather, up 65% year to date, and maybe not likely to turn in results that justify a much higher PE than the one we already see.
And Max, I suppose if we look at Facebook bigger picture, they've absolutely nailed the social network thing. But if they're going to really grow long-term moving forward, they have to diversify the types of areas they're operating in. Is that what people really fear? Because doing that, diversifying, will cost a lot of money. And that might mean, as they suggested, that costs are higher than revenues in the next couple of years.
Yeah, so Facebook has absolutely taken over dominance in mobile from just a few years back when we were worried whether they could do it or not. 2/3 of the engagement and more than 2/3 of the revenue, and almost all the revenue growth coming from mobile. So certainly they've mastered the space. The question is, can they do the anti-social network just as well? In other words, what people are flocking to and what even Facebook is looking to is more direct, anonymous, and private messaging between individuals one-to-one or individuals in groups. Can the same platform be the place you go to not tell the world everything and to have a private or more intimate conversation, since that seems to be the growth area? And that's also the network you go to tell everyone everything. And that remains to be seen.